Hey guys, welcome to Keeping It Unique. If this is you guys' first time joining me, my name is Malika. Before we get started in this video, please remember to like this video, comment under this video, share this video with your friends and families. Please do subscribe and turn that post notification bell on so you guys will be notified every time I drop a new video. So for today's video, it's something a little different, but being that nursing is a big part of my life, I just wanted to incorporate a little more nursing videos into my channel. So for today's video, it's gonna be what's in my nursing bag or things to have as a nurse. So far I find that these things work for me. And without further ado, I'm just gonna jump into the video. I will be looking on my phone because that is where I put down the things. So this is where I will be getting them from because I can't remember everything off the top of my head. Alright, so I had to put on a little bit of a lip gloss because my lips felt super dry. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. And as I stated before, in no particular order, we have tape. So paper tape or the regular tape, make sure you guys have tape on you. You never know when you're gonna go into a patient's room and you're just like, oh, can you tape down this section of the IV for me? Or if you're doing blood draw, you took a band-aid, but then you have to do like sit the patient again. Make sure you guys have tape handy. Like, I can't tell you guys how many times having a tape in the room with me at the time when I enter saved me like so much time from leaving the room, going out to coming back and all that good stuff. So tape, very handy one to have with you. Number two, band-aid. So make sure you guys always have band-aid on you. You never know when your patient's gonna say, oh, I have a scratch here, can I get a band-aid? Or something of that nature. I know this one patient in particular, he normally comes to me and he's just like, oh, can I have some band-aid? He just always wants band-aid. So make sure you guys have those handy. You never know when those questions are gonna come up. They need band-aid, or I know some of my patients, because I do psych patients a lot, if I do a blood draw and I do one band-aid, they want two, so they want it as crisscross. So just make sure you guys have extra band-aids on you for those reasons. Scissors. Make sure you guys know when you guys were in nursing school and they say make sure to get a nursing scissors, and you're just like, I don't even use these scissors, like why did they even let me have it? Well, let me tell you something. In nursing, it is totally different. Okay, make sure you always have your scissors handy. You never know when you have to cut a dressing open. You just never know. You never know. Sometimes you have to like cut around the pill wrapper because sometimes they're so hard to pop. So make sure you always have your scissors handy. That is also one thing that has saved me a lot, like having the scissors with me. Our patient just wants something random to be cut. Oh, can you cut this string right here or something? I don't know. Yeah, so the scissors has saved me a great deal when it comes to that. Sharpie. So on my unit we have this culture where the oncoming nurse is supposed to update the boards for the nurses coming in. So they're supposed to put your name, the manager's name, all that good stuff, who's gonna be the tech, if they're on any pain medication or anything when it's next to you, and all that good stuff. But sometimes life is life and everybody is human. These things don't happen. So you want to always make sure you have a Sharpie handy so that when you go in to do your first rounds with your patients, then you can have the boards and everything updated. Recently, I think the last day I worked, I had my nursing bag, but I accidentally left it in the back of my car because I had like so many things and I just forgot that it was back there. So I went to work and I went in my room and the boards were not updated and I did not have a Sharpie on me. So I felt so bare, if that's what you want to call it, because I remember going into a patient's room in particular and I was just like, hey, my name is Malika, this and that, and they were just like, oh, can you write it on the board for me? And I was just like, oh, absolutely, I was just about to do that. And then I checked my pocket and remember that I don't have my Sharpie. That was so awkward. So please make sure you guys have that with you always. Even like, you know, sometimes the patients want you to write something on the boards to remind them that, hey, you know, or put this up there for me as my wife's phone number, my husband's phone number, just in case of anything. I want it on there on the board, whatever, things like that. The next one is colored pen. You guys know that nurses love pens. Do I need to say more? I know some people, they like to do like, depending on the type of note, so if it's like very important, they'll put it in red. The regular, they'll do in like blue writing or black writing, and then, you know, something else, they, you know, vice versa. So colored pens are like lifesavers for nurses. It helps to pop those information that are very like relevant and important. Not that all information relating to the patient is not relevant, but those important stuff or urgent stuff that, you know, need to see right away on your paper when you're taking notes. For some people, instead of doing the colored writing, they use highlighters. So that's also one thing that you guys need to have in your nursing bag. For me personally, I use the highlighter over the colored pens, just because I just get pens and I'm just like, to be honest, most of the pens I have, I don't know where they come from. But I go to work and I come home and I have pens, so I use them. But highlighter, definitely I use that to make sure I'm highlighting the more important things for me that I want to stand out on my patients. Alcohol swab. Let's see. So I think with this one, where I most commonly need an alcohol swab and then I don't have extra, if I'm doing an AccuCheck on a patient and I took only one set of everything, and then I poke the patient, and you know sometimes those fingers, they don't want to give any blood or anything, so I have to repeat. Alcohol swab is good to have in plenty. Or even when you got to scrub the hub for the IV, you know, to push, give medication or whatever, you just make sure you have alcohol swab, because we are supposed to rely on the patient having the whole green cap on their IV, which we don't have to use an alcohol swab because that serves as an alcohol swab. So you just take it off, flush, give your medication, all that good stuff. But I can't count the amount of times I've entered a patient's room and they don't have the green cap when I was counting on it and I didn't bring an alcohol swab with me, so I have to leave the room and come back. So take it from me, make sure you guys have alcohol swab with you at all times. And talking about that, the green cap for the IV covers, because you know sometimes you go in the patient's room to do your rounds, check their IV and everything, and then you realize, oh, they have the IV but it's not covered, nothing. So you know, after you alcohol swab, you flush, you put your green cap on, saves you a trip to like, because I don't know about you guys, but for me, I have OCD. The moment I see a patient's IV and there's no green cap on it, then everything just kicking, like, okay, stop what you're doing, this IV just need a green cap. I don't know, especially if I'm pushing medication through that. When I'm done, I have to put there's no way I'm not gonna put a green cap on that IV. It's just me, not beating anybody, but again, having a green cap on a patient's IV, it prevents them from getting certain bacteria and infection enter that line. So just make sure you guys are doing things right for your patients and for yourself. After all, you guys have worked really hard for that license, so protect it, right? Yeah. Next on my list, I have gauze. Just have gauze with you, okay? You guys are gonna get that call that, oh, hey, you need to come to the room real quick, and then you go down there and the next thing you know, the IV is out of the patient, they're bleeding everywhere, you need some gauze to put some pressure on that area, all that good stuff. So just make sure you guys have your gauze with you at all times. That is a lifesaver, and it helps to prevent like so much more blood loss with especially a confused patient or an angry patient when they pull their IV out. I'm not gonna lie, most of the time the angry patients, after they pull it out, they don't even want you touching them. But especially for those confused patients, poor souls, they pull their IVs out and now they're bleeding, you know. Or I remember this one time I had a patient on heparin drip and he was sleeping good and everything, and the next thing I know, he called me and he was just like, oh, I'm bleeding everywhere. When I went in, the IV got detached. It didn't come out of him, but it unscrewed, and because he's on a blood thinner, it was just leaking through the whole thing. So I had to like thank God I had like a whole pack of gauze in there. I don't remember the reason why I had that pack of gauze in there, but I grabbed them so quick. I put them on his arm. I said hold pressure here, and then I got me a Togaderm and I wrapped the area. So that was a lifesaver, because me leaving that room or me calling somebody to bring me some gauze could have been detrimental, because also his hemoglobin was already running low, and on blood thinners you can imagine the amount of blood like I saw on that bed, and he doesn't know when the bleeding started. Obviously when I checked on him an hour earlier, because you know his heparin infusion, a lot of antibiotics and pain meds, I was going into that room so often, there was no blood, because the last time I used the IV as well, so I know there was no bleeding there or anything. But no telling how long he was bleeding for. He fell asleep, and the next thing you know, he woke up and he was bleeding. So yeah, that is that. Your stethoscope. Always have your stethoscope, guys. This should be a, like, I shouldn't have to tell you guys. You guys know that stethoscope is like one of the main parts of nursing. So always have your stethoscope with you. Flushes. You're always gonna get this call. Oh, this IV is beeping, this IV is going off. And most of the times, 90% of the times, it's gonna say distal occlusion. Sometimes it will say, you know, the IV is finished, or it will say air in the line, but most of the time it's a distal occlusion. And what do we do for distal occlusion? We flush those IV lines. So make sure you guys have your flushes with you at all times. Take them by the dozen if you have to, in your pocket, on your cart, wherever, but just make sure you guys have your flushes with you at all times. Me having a flush with me, I think over everything else that I have mentioned, having a flush with me when I go to that patient's room helps so much. It saves so much time. So take it from me, make sure you guys have your flushes at all times. The next thing I have on my list, which is not really nursing related, but I think this is something that you guys should definitely have on board: lotion. Always have your lotion, because you know you constantly, if you're doing it right, you constantly are washing your hands, you constantly are hand sanitizing, so those cause your hands to like dry out. So I also need to take my own advice when it comes to this, but make sure you guys have hand lotion at all times with you. It helps to save your hands from like so many cracked and dry skin and just ill. Yeah, so have your lotions with you, okay? And last but not least, oh my gosh, I keep kicking this tripod. Last but not least for this video, I am going to say, in your nursing bag, once you reach that place of work, make sure you have a good attitude. So whatever was going on before that, make sure you are dropping it at the door. I know that sometimes it's hard, because you step in and you're just like, oh, here we go again, the same shit show. But make sure you guys are having a positive attitude. And even if the day is not the best for you, your patients don't need to know that. They came to the hospital or to wherever it is that you are working for a reason. They need to get better, and they don't need to know that your personal life stress is gonna cause them to have a bad day as well, or to put more fear into them, because you guys know that when patients see you and you have like the nastiest attitude, now they're wondering, okay, what kind of care am I gonna get? Am I getting the best? Then it causes, you know, tension and all that good stuff. So make sure that at all times you are dropping that bad attitude. Even if you don't want to drop it in the work environment, which I totally recommend, I highly recommend, make sure you're dropping it before you go to each of your patients' rooms. So drop it outside the door. So that is my little spiel for today's video of what you guys must have in your nurse's bag, ready on deck to be successful on that shift, or you know, in your nursing career. For all my nurses or my nursing students, my LPNs, all that good stuff, my CNAs that are watching this video, please comment down below if you guys think I've missed anything that you guys do have in your nursing bag and you think that is very important for you to have. Oh, one more thing before I go. Wow. Make sure you guys have that spray, the odor eliminator. Oh my gosh, you guys need to carry that. I don't know, I can't tell how many times I've stepped into a room and I was just like, okay, this place needs to be eliminated, like this odor needs to be eliminated. So your odor eliminator. Back to what I was saying, for all my nurses in the different farms that are watching this video, let me know down below in the comment section what are some things that you guys have in your nursing bag that helps to make your day successful. Do you think I did a good job with the list that I made? That's basically it for today's video. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming out, watching this video and supporting me. Once again, it's your girl Malika, reminding you guys to always keep it unique. Bye guys.